Hello, Lions fans, and welcome to another edition of the Lions Den podcast. Adam Williams here. Joining us today are assistant men's soccer coach Kyle Hughes and head men's soccer coach Greg Munn. Guys, how you doing today?
Doing well. Good. How you doing?
Doing well. Kyle, first off, welcome to the Hill.
Thank you.
Looking at the bio, spent the last several years at Spartanburg Methodist. Quick question. Did you have any interactions with Brianna Clark, our current women's basketball coach?
I actually did. My office and her office were right beside each other, so we saw each other a lot at my time at Spartanburg Methodist College.
We talk about your time there. Quite an impressive tenure at there. Talk about kind of your coaching style and kind of what led to the success of that program.
For me, I'm a big disciplinarian. I like my squads to be structured in a way that we keep things very simple, but yet, we make it very hard for teams when they come not only to SMC, but when we go on the road to travel, we made it very hard for teams just because of our overall structure of the team. So I think that pretty much led to a lot of our success. We were one game shy of going to nationals, something we haven't done since 1994, but we were very successful in the way of a lot of our players went on to big D1 and Division II schools overall. So that's, at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
So coming kind of, at the end of that tenure, first off, how did you connect with Coach Munn and what led you to pursue this opportunity at Mars Hill?
So it was actually, we actually met at a big camp down in Georgia. And we had lunch a few times together, just really kind of just had a great conversation. And the crazy thing about it is that we really, at the end of it, figured out we actually really match up really well together when it comes to coaching styles and things that we want from players and different things of that nature. So that's how we basically met. And, my last year at SMC, I kind of knew going into the season that this might be my last ride here. I wanted out of the JUCO game. I loved the JUCO game, but I wanted out of it, and I was very excited that when Coach Munn extended the hand with the assistant spot, it was a very unique opportunity and something that I definitely wanted to see about, and I'm glad I took it. I'm glad I'm here.
Greg, we talked. Kyle's now on the staff. You also have a graduate assistant coming in this year, Joe LaCasto. Talk about kind of having this maybe more well-rounded squad. In the past, you've had, I think, one GA your first year here. Last year, you had another GA. Now you have a full-time assistant coach along with the GA. What does that do in terms of divvying up responsibilities and kind of allowing you to build the program even further?
Yeah, I think it's very fortunate to bring Kyle on board and have Joe on board as a graduate assistant as well. And I think it's not putting as much pressure on me to be the only voice. I think bringing in good experience and another couple of sets of hands that have a good background in the game that can really help us on the field but off the field as well, I think is going to be really important in allowing us to, as a programme, take a step in the right direction. This is a big year for us, but adding a quality staff is definitely allowing us to try to do some things a little bit differently, which is definitely positive. It's something I've wanted to do since taking the job, and when it's a one-man show, it can be very difficult to cover all your bases. But I think with the quality that Kyle and Joe can both bring to this program, I think it's only going to allow us to push forward in a positive direction.
You talk about building the program. You certainly are doing that. Adding a JV squad this year. Talk about kind of the process there and kind of the expectations with that kind of that side of the men's soccer program.
Yeah, I think this year it's we've increased our squad, which hopefully in the big picture side of things is going to add some competition from within our squad. It's going to allow us to have a little bit more depth, and it's also going to allow us to develop players within our program as well. We play in an extremely competitive conference, extremely competitive region that some players take a bit of time getting adapted to, and with the nature of college soccer, we can have injuries and we can have suspensions and illness and things like that as well, and allowing us more depth this year is only going to help us, because I feel like in the past 2 seasons that's really hurt us at really important times. I think we've had momentum at different times, but we've fell short and we fell hard because we've not been able to back some players up. We've not been able to look to our squad to allow us to when it gets tough to push on and kind of fight through it a little bit. So I'm excited to be bringing in a lot of players this year, but everyone's coming in this program for a reason, and everyone's going to be able to come in and compete. And we want to create a very competitive environment from within our squad and within our program. And I think Kyle mentioned it. There's going to be a lot of discipline this year, and there's going to be hopefully big steps in the right direction. And having a bigger squad is hopefully going to allow us to do that.
So we talk about the bigger squad, and normally around this time we start seeing those guys on campus, and we start to kind of see them interacting. As of us recording, we're in the locker room staging. Well, you guys are. I can't fold anything, but you'd see those guys around and kind of communicating with you guys. You talk about discipline. If you guys wouldn't mind speaking on it from your perspectives, how difficult has that been through what's been going on in the world in terms of Zoom calls, phone calls, rather than in person and kind of getting that camaraderie built face to face?
It's it was a difficult spring. The beginning of the spring was excellent in my opinion in terms of what we were doing, and then obviously things got cut short because of the pandemic. So, we've had to adapt, and I think that's probably the biggest word right now is we've had to adapt to the situation and work around it. And we've had to do a lot of Zoom calls, and it's a lot of emails, and individual phone calls from myself, Kyle, and Joe to guys, and then get on Zoom calls. And some guys have been working, and there's time difference. So there's a lot of different things there that have made the summer months difficult. And then obviously we push back the beginning of the semester in person a little bit as well. So we are very eager to get the guys here. I think that a lot of the guys are a little bit burnt out on Zoom calls and being virtual all the time. I know that I am, and I'm looking forward to getting the guys here and seeing them in person, and hopefully that'll get the spirits lifted again, and really get into the fall and have an energetic and productive fall season as we look ahead to the spring. But I think with Kyle on board now and Joe on board, it's allowed me to give some responsibility to those guys as well, and help me communicate and have a different voice within the programme. And it's not just having to wear every single hat. They can hear different voices, same message but different voices, so we can get everyone taken care of and everyone ready and organised for when they report.
So, Kyle, if you want to speak on that too, how has kind of that integration been when that first meeting with the athletes, and then kind of building that relationship? Kind of what have you seen from this squad so far?
It's definitely been different. It's different for everybody, as you know, and but still, it's just another notch added to the level of discipline that it must. Basically, we must have for this entire season, and the structure we got to implement earlier on. So it's definitely been tough. I know a lot of the guys do not like it, but at the end of the day, we have to do it, and we're faced with very tough times right now. The guys, this is a great group of guys. Initially, just meeting a few of them in person, and definitely talking to obviously the bulk of the squad through Zoom calls and whatnot. But this is a very, very exciting squad, and I love already the pieces that we have in place in a lot of the positions, and looking forward just to getting to work with these guys. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure we do it the proper way, and that's where that discipline and that structure comes in, and we got to make sure we abide by all the rules.
We talk about kind of that difficult spring, that difficult summer, but it wasn't all bad, especially for you, Coach Munn. A new addition, actually a couple new additions. If you want to talk about that, again, you got to find the silver lining in every cloud, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone's working through the pandemic right now, but my wife and I were fortunate enough to have a baby daughter during this time, and if anything, I've had a lot of extra time to spend with my wife and my daughter, and that's been I've been thankful for that, and I think again it's you've got to find the silver linings, and you've got to make the best out of a difficult situation. Everyone's going through this right now, so I tell the guys every Zoom call, every time I speak to them, we've got to adapt, and we've got to remain positive, and we've got to look big picture and be thankful for what we do have, and we'll get through this. So, but yeah, during the time we had off, so to speak, or during the pandemic, welcoming my daughter into the world was very special.
Saying a future line, of course, right?
Absolutely.
As we wrap up, I know you guys have a couple things going on today, but as we wrap up, I just want to hear from each of you your respective goals for once the season does begin and kind of playing throughout. What is the main intention for both of you guys? Kyle, if you want to start.
Coming from me, I would definitely say that not only do we want to make sure, again, we instill that discipline and that structure that Greg and myself have talked about over the last few months. We want to make sure that leads into wins. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're judged on, and last year only winning 4 games, that's not good enough. We want to set the tone this year and let people know that it's going to be a different Mars Hill. If you're playing us home or away, so we have to make sure that whatever we do within this fall and also in the spring, at the end of the day, it leads towards wins. That's what we're here to do. First and foremost. Not first and foremost. First and foremost, you're supposed to go to school and get good grades. Let me restate that. But secondly, we got to make sure we're developing young, great athletes, and we're also translating that into wins.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you can tell, myself and Kyle are very much on the same page, and we're both competitive, and we want our guys to be competitive both on and off the field. So, when you take over a program like I did, just shy of 2 years ago, it takes a little bit of time to build, the program in your vision and build the culture within your vision. And I think we're finally getting to that point as a culture and as a program to where we're starting to do the right things. Specifically off the field, that's going to hopefully allow us to find success on the field. So we're trying to do a lot of different things this off season, because the fall is now going to be our off season, and it's going to be important for us to knuckle down and really start to lay a foundation. But there's no denying the fact that we play in a extremely competitive conference, and we have to put some wins on the board, and we have to try and push this program back in the direction we want it to go, and back to where it once was as a program as well. So that takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of effort and heart as well, and hopefully we've put a lot of the right pieces together from a recruiting standpoint this year, and from a retention standpoint, both for returners, incoming players, transfers, that we can now translate what we want to do and what we want to talk about onto the field in terms of the way we play, the way we compete, and hopefully that puts wins on the board and puts Mars Hill back in a position where we can be extremely competitive each season.
I know the wait's been long for you guys. It's going to be a little longer for all of us fans here, but I think I can speak for everyone when we're excited to see the product that'll go out on the field, and I know you guys have been chomping at the bit since when? February at least?
Yeah.
So again, guys, I appreciate you taking the time and doing this. I'll let you guys get back to making this locker room look immaculate. Thanks again, guys, and best of luck throughout the season.
Awesome. Thank you.